Good morning, everyone. Apparently, Tiffany henyard did an interview, and let's just say the interview did not help Tiffany henyard whatsoever. Shout out to Burgundy Blue Commentary for this right here. Let's get into it. And unfortunately, I didn't start from the beginning because this is a live stream, so let's get into it.
Blisters on the feet. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as you not wanting to give up a $300,000 seat. I know what, y'all, this is why I just put my head down. I know what she's trying to say because Tiffany is human.
And here's it's nothing against Burgundy Blue, but I just wish that Burgundy Blue would quit trying to be politically correct and call stuff out for what it is. If Tiffany is on BS, just say that, Burgundy. Say she's full of crap and move on. Okay, it's point.
Let's talk about Claudette. Claudette was a 15-year-old black girl who refused to give up her bus seat to a white passenger in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, 9 months before Rosa Parks. Now, would Rosa Parks be able to say, I am Claudette Colvin? Yes. Why don't she go to Shirley Chisholm? Something like that. So Colvin's act of defiance helped her end bus segregation in Alabama. Tiffany not giving up her seat in, in Thornton Township or Dalton as the liquor commissioner. Okay, the liquor commissioner of Dalton, the mayor of Dalton. We got to stop comparing that to Rosa Parks. We got to start today. Start today. If anybody disagree, let me know. I I get what she's trying to say. Respectfully, respect the sacrifice that Rosa Parks, Miss Claudette did, the civil rights movement. Respect the sacrifice. Yes, people sacrifice to get Tiffany here to be in this position that she's at. I understand that, but we cannot compare what happened in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955 to an electric BMW in 2025. Okay, we got to stop. I get what she's trying to say. I get, but no.
Bird, quit being nice.
Y'all, I need, this coffee ain't working.
Tell this chick she's full of crap.
Let me see what y'all got to say. What am I doing right now? I refuse to give up my seat. In Louboutin heels, me and Rosa Parks are just the same. No, no, you're not. Tiffany, stop. Somebody go. Somebody get. No. I get what she mean. But someone should have said, okay, now it's another way. Maybe we could start with, we could bring it back. We could bring it back just a little bit. We'll talk about, some of the things, some of the adversities that maybe Shirley Chisholm faced, other black leaders in Illinois, things of that nature.
I gotta pause this for a second.
And we don't have to stay.
She ain't gonna do that, Burke. How you talking about a person who has no accountability and no self awareness? She's not gonna do that. Her ego will not allow Tiffany to do that. You talking about she needs this and that third. Her ego ain't gonna let her listen to nobody.
Just do black women. We could do women, period. We could do a lot of things that we, but being black and being a woman is important. I understand that. I'm black and I'm a woman. But that's like me getting up today, turning on my electric stove, hitting my what we do, push to start on my car so my car can warm up. Okay, going to Starbucks and saying Roots had nothing on me. I am Roots. I am the future. No. I crossed Calumet River in my car today. Harriet Tubman ain't got nothing on. No. No. I get what she trying to say. I'm just like, it's a different way. Like, give Rosa Parks her respect, okay? You know, Rosa Parks sacrificed so I can be here today. Something like that. Something like that. And I try to do the best I can to fight for. And I'm not media trained, so I'm just doing. And I try to do the best I can to keep up the legacy people fought for. What they tell Malcolm X, get your hand out my pockets. I got 2 pockets. I am Malcolm X. I am the... No! Let's go, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me read some of your comments. I'm sorry. Oh, my gosh. It just... We not Big Mike. This is the question of the day. How come we didn't have this many people watching yesterday during Garda's talk? His talk was so great. It was. Please, y'all go look at what we were talking about. Martin Luther King, revolutionary. Garda's talk got us seeing a different side of Martin Luther King. And don't forget to check in the description box. All those books that Garda's recommended is on Audible too. If Audible. By Amazon, and you get 30 days free if you use our link, okay? Winky, I can't even read the comments. I'm so frustrated. Did I take my blood pressure medicine today? Did I take my black girl vitamins? Let me go take my vitamins while we listen.
Because you made a hell of a correlation in terms of what's at stake. And as I walk us through the series, because you like a whole book. Yeah. It's a series of collections that, for real, when we look in hindsight, one day, God is going to bless us to live to grow old. And if not, live to tell the stories through others. And it's a series. And it's a lot of you that I want folks to take away as we pull back these layers, because we're going to get into the weeds, guys. Like, ultimately, she's alluding to a few things. The seed, the fire, the brimstone, right? So, you know, and yes, she's still standing. And the question is why? When you think about the village of Dalton, 8-mile radius, right? About nearly 22,000 residents. That little spot on the map, is it that important? Or is the bigger picture, the supervisor picture, critical? And if so, why? So when we look at Thornton Township, you would agree is the second most powerful township in the state. And what makes it powerful?
The only reason she wanted a Thornton Township job was just for the paycheck. And that's it, and that's all. Case closed.
Is that it delivers the votes. Let's be clear.
Correct.
Right? Yes, the vast majority is reflective, let's say about 60-40 in terms of white and black. But when you think about the village of Dalton, it's predominantly black, but both of whom have historically been in some deficits or mismanagement or poor leadership, and it's continued. So that's undeniable. Now everybody's probably asking, well, what's her role in it? Where was she? We gonna get to that, right? But first, I want to jog your memories to the mayoral leaders that came before you. Bill Shaw comes to mind.
Yes.
The Shaw brothers.
Yes.
If you didn't see one, you saw the other,
The
right?
twins.
From 97 to 2008. That's undeniable. So you had some decent leadership, but then you decided to run for trustee. What made you run?
Oh, wow. I
well,
thought she was going to go
again,
there
I
about
was
the
been a
Shaw
leader,
brothers.
So I took on the role of Black Club president. So on my block, I always try to get the neighbors engaged, make sure you know your neighbor. When we went to school and got out, sometimes we go to the neighbor house. And that's the thing that I wanted to bring back. Basically unity amongst community and us building one another. So when my parents went home, we'll go to neighbor's house, they'll feed us, they'll help us with our homework, things of that nature. So the issue was over a tree. It's that simple. It was over a tree. We wanted a tree cut on the block, but it wasn't on our property. It was on someone else's property. I went to a board meeting and I asked them, hey guys, we have a tree. It's messing up the plumbing. It's leaning over in the street where we dance and do our routines at. Can you please come and cut it down? And basically when I went, they flickered me off. They said, I'll sit down. What you talking about, little girl? Because I was young. I was a teenager at the time. And from there, it got me interested in government because I didn't know who ran our city. I didn't know what that looked like.
Now that's a cool story. I think that a lot of people probably got their foot wet in politics, going to a board meeting and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. I like that.
People, no youth, nobody that can actually be our voice and understand what we want. I ran for office. Now, don't get me wrong, that kicked me off the ballot when I first ran. I didn't know the game, didn't know nothing. I was so young, wet behind the ears, didn't know nothing. So then after that,
You
later,
know, I was looking for that too, right? There's never any history. So y'all getting some real
Yeah,
exclusive.
yeah.
When you knocked off the ballot, this is though you ain't never ran.
Right.
I've been kicked off the ballot too. So you got knocked off the ballot, but you got back up.
I did. You dust yourself off, try again, as Aaliyah say. Yes.
Okay, so tell me. So when I think of you and you feel in the blank, you think of Zuccarelli. I think of the Z team, right? Now the boss had the Z team. Were you a part of that apparatus, or did you become ingratiated?
Well,
Did they find you once you got knocked off the ballot?
Well, they did, but I never joined, like, per se, the Z team. I was a part of it, but from afar, because I just can't go with status quo. I'm my own person. So I've always helped when they call for us to go get signatures, things of that nature. What people don't understand or didn't know about Frank Zuccarelli, he worked through his people. That's how he was able to stay in office for so long. That's the problem I'm having now. No one wants to work together. Everybody wants to be the dictator to Tiffany Henyard. And I'm saying no. I want people to do the same like I did with Frank Zuccarelli. We all work together. When Frank had a judge,
And see, I see what she's saying for sure. Because I feel like Tiffany, a lot of people left her and gridlocked her. A lot of businesses, a lot of people are scared to touch her. Yeah, like people are scared to come out and just support her. But I think, and I don't know, only she knows, that I'm not saying she was supposed to do everything people told her to do. No. If she would have kept some of the people, you know what I'm trying to say? Kept the, even just the first year, kept the flow sort of on a Frank tip. Maybe she saw something I didn't see. I don't know. I was not there. But that's what I'm thinking, that they was like, oh, well, this is changing. Some things that come to mind, like with Tiffany, that the Park District. When the Park District was so mad, like, remember that car show? And we did research on that. And they were like, or the Park District, they were like, well, we never had to get a permit before. Well, they wanted Tiffany to do what Riley did. hey, Park District, go ahead. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And then that's when stuff, she said, no, you're going to have to get a permit this time. And I don't know what's the right or the wrong thing to do. You know, like the car show. Oh, we never had to get, we had this car show here for 6 years and we never had to get a permit. Well, new mayor in town, so it was a lot of stuff. And then she probably let her people slip through some things, like now this person don't have to get a permit because they're team Tiff, you know what I mean? And people wanted Tiffany to stay loyal to the things they were used to for so long. Does that make sense? And I don't think that, I think if she would have came in and sort of carbon copied, I don't know if this is the right thing to do, people would have stuck around a little longer because Frank had a lot of sponsorships, a lot of relationships. Then again, people could have just turned on her as soon as she took office. I don't know.
A judge, things of that nature. He went to every single town, which is 17 cities he compassed, and he had those mayors, those elected officials. They went out and got the signatures for his slates. That's how this game worked. He didn't go do it, but he had the resources and the connections to make it work.
So what she's identifying is the strength and power of relationships, but as two Black women that are on the most powerful Black-owned radio station in the country,
Amen.
We ain't white.
Well, I'll say this. Tiffany, I don't know if she was working from afar with the Z team because we go through the history here where we heard Tiffany say, Frank was my mentor. I hope to be just like you. Thank you for all you did. You know, blah, blah, blah. We've seen that. So I don't think that was afar. But, I mean, she's telling her story. This is her story to tell.
That privilege that you saw, the trickle-down effect just hasn't reached you and probably will not touch you as a Black woman in power.
Correct.
And that's been an ugly reality. And I am going to identify that for you because you would be remiss as you read and see, and eventually I just stop in terms of, damn, Dalton ain't that important. Why this seat and why now? Right? So
now, Wyoming girl, thank you. You summed it up for me. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Sometimes I can't just say it. She was appointed to his position. People voted for Zuccarelli. She should have respected that until people got to know her. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, does that sound bad? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I know that she wanted to jump in there as supervisor and have it as her own and all of that stuff. But this is someone that built relationships for years. He went to South Suburban College. What was it called? What was South Suburban College called? Something like Thornton College or something like that. He went before South Suburban College was named South Suburban College. So he was ingrained in the Southland for so long. And she... You know, I try to let Tiffany tell her story because I get what's happening. You know what I mean? But no, I'm gonna say it. I'm not supposed to say it. Play ball is what they wanted her to do. And maybe if the first year she could have played ball, you know, I know I'm not supposed to say that, but that's how I feel.
the rise of Tiffany Henyard, Tiffany from the block, aka Good Burger. You know, you dust yourself off, you tried again, you ran, and then you were seated.
Correct.
Okay. So you had to get out there and get your teeth cut, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you served as a trustee for how long?
8 years. I did 2 terms.
So 2 terms under the leadership of then Mayor Riley Roger.
Correct.
Right? So was Roger done, or you just decided that you were done?
Well,
and you wanted something new? Which
well,
way?
I had to make sure I unseated him, and I ran for the seat because he kept trying to recall me. It's not my first recall.
Oh, really?
He tried to recall myself, Stan Brown, and Robert Hunt, and they lost. Frank Zuccarelli was involved as well as relates to, we had a lawyer, we defeated that, and we still kept our seats. But they always tried to recall us, no matter what. When people can't control you, they try to remove you from office. That's how this game goes.
Because recall is an X factor here in Chicago.
Correct.
There is a state rep that is pushing that agenda. He's done so even when he was on the ballot for mayor. but they were rebuking in the name of Jesus in Chicago. But recall is also powerful, but it's abusive.
Correct.
And I did not know that this was not your first rodeo.
No, ma'am.
So you were recalled, or attempted to be recalled once or twice?
2 times. So once as a trustee and once as mayor.
Right, I know that as mayor, but once beforehand.
Correct.
So is that the same time that you decided to run against him for mayor, or did you run in the next term?
I ran in the next term.
Okay.
Because he tried to put term
So
limits
he
on
pulled
us.
that trigger.
Yes.
And then you clapped back.
I did.
That's the translation.
And he
y'all.
lost his seat.
And he
That's
lost
why
his
I
seat.
watch what you go for, because if it's good for me, it's good for you. And the people elected me by landslide. 82% I won in 2021, becoming the
I was
first
gonna
female.
get to that. So this woman know her stats, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, what's good for the goose is it good for the gander. And as I think what makes us very interesting as millennials is that we learn real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we learn, you can't unlearn what you know,
Correct.
right? Because you were in the thick of this fight. And I want to talk about Dalton because, there's been some painful moments, right? I think you've had some growing pains yourself as a leader.
Correct.
And I want to give you that opportunity to have that humility and grace because nobody's perfect.
Correct.
Right? And I'm going to talk about a few things, but I do want to preface that there are some things because of just the legalities and the nature of things that I won't get in the weeds of the details. Because everybody was hitting, well, ask about this. Let me tell you something. What happened in Vegas, did it happen in Vegas? And if it did, that's for a jury to deliberate. But there are moments of leadership where I bet if she was to take that trip again, ain't none of y'all going. Everybody stay at home.
In my personal opinion, the Vegas trip should never have happened. And that's it, and that's all. Honestly, I don't even think it was a legitimate business trip. I think what it was them basically to blow the town's money. And, let's continue.
And that's how we going to do this. And I'm going to come back and tell you the message. So when we come back, we are talking to the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, supervisor of Thornton Township, mayor of Dalton, who's going to dive into the growing pains. Because I think every leader, if they have not grown, then they're not a leader. And when you look back over it, would you have done certain things differently? Stay with us. We'll be back.
You're listening to Cleopatra Draper. We're the talk of Chicago. WBON.
God chose me to lead.
It's the dad. And I'm live in the studio with the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard. And
She's going to sit there and say God chose her to lead Dalton. Ma'am, don't put God in your mess. I am so sick of people when they get into mess. They want to say that God has built them for such a time as this. No. God does not deal with BS and or confusion. Do not do that.
we are building up to the momentum of these headlines. Like, I got to talk about this because I think that has what has driven this hate campaign. Not to mention, let's be clear, as an elected, I'm sure you've experienced meeting folks that just don't like you.
Yes.
No matter what you've done, what you've given, what you've experienced, what you've said, what they can't forget, what they can't forgive, they don't like you. But these headlines don't make it better. So I'm going to read a few of them. America's worst mayor, facing evictions, not paying rent, your charity, the conflicts of interest, your relationship, the deficit in Thornton, the cars being repossessed in Dalton. I mean, hit after hit after hit, to the point where not only do people want to know who is this girl, where is Dalton, what's up with Thornton, what they gonna do about it? I mean, it gets lost in a translation. What do you say to these headlines?
Well, all lies. I think that someone bigger is behind it all, paying for all the negative media, because every time I send in a clip or get them facts or give them proof or get them documentation, they don't even put it up. And then I have to create my own platform and put it up on there to show people the truth.
So let me get this straight, Tiff. You want to say that WGN, NBC Chicago, CBS Chicago, News Nation, even CNN, who also report on you, are all reporting fake news. Is that what you're trying to tell me? So you try and go the Donald Trump route and go fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Miss me with your bullshit, woman. Seriously, miss me with your bullshit.
She should have brought it here. And I know, like, just two things. Just two things. She should have brought it here and put this up for Cleopatra to show on the screen. But I don't know if she was, well, she could have just brought it in paper form and Cleopatra could have read it off and then posted it later on her webpage or something like that on her Instagram. But it should have been for her to see. It didn't have to be everything, but just a couple of things where people could have been like, oh, okay.
Come from. When I do speak truth, I show them evidence, and then we go from there. But it's sad and heartbreaking because how people talk about people personal life. What I got to do with where I sit government? I'm in government, not personal. And then it's all lies. Like I go to one. They said I'm being evicted, right? Mm-hmm. I don't rent from her. But yet, that's the story everybody put. I'm not her tenant. I'm not on no lease. But yet, y'all keep putting that out there.
So why would somebody do that? Because I wanted to save this question personally, and she looking me dead in the eyes, y'all. So I want to be clear of how intimate this exclusive is. Why would somebody go that far to besmudge you and you're not their tenant?
Because that she's paid. Everyone's paid. Everyone's behind everything. And it will be exposed. So people be wanting me to talk premature, right? So of course you know what lawyers tell you. Now I don't talk about this. Don't focus on that. I only gave you a little bit of it, but that's the truth.
Understand.
And that's why I'm okay with saying it. Even though the lawyer get me later for it, he'll deal with it. But it's just a problem because why? You guys can't beat me that you got to go that far? That's beyond reason. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
Like if you're going to fight me at the polls. Bring the people out. But you got to make the people not like me and do character assassination. I'm not with that. Because I put in the work. I paid my dues. When I say paid my dues, I mean did the work. My work speaks for itself. And no one can outwork me or outbeat.
I want to say this. I do agree with the smear campaign situation. But also I agree where Tiffany doesn't make it any better when she opens her mouth. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I get it. Like, she should have put, I know she's in court, so I get certain things. And like I said, they covered the lease. What was that man's name? The lease, I gotta find it, the lease thing. He covered all 3 leases. The first lease, it was signed with Tiffany. Then, I don't know why anybody act like we're not just, over here in the thick of it in Dalton. And then it looked like the second lease was signed by Kamal. Then the third lease was signed by Kamal, just Kamal. So the other 2 lease agreements were just Kamal lease agreements. So why are we not talking about that? It is what it is. But I, again, blame Kamal, because if you one day late, you know that's going to fall back on Tiffany. If that was the case. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on. Then I saw poor Miss Janetta. She went to court, got her money. And she's like, well, shoot, I'm not, putting anybody out. They started everybody started turning on Miss Janetta. And I'm like, come on, y'all. Who's going to rent in Dalton paying $2,400 a month every month? They were renting that house. And I'm saying they because we know Tiffany was laying her head there, 3 years? And she didn't have a problem until that 1 month. And then when she filed in September, oh my God. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Because, if I go on live, my people will worry the hell out of me. Okay. So, it would be Miss Janetta. She signed with Kamal. the news didn't make it clear. Nobody made it clear. But when Tiffany had that one speech, yeah, dear woke Christian. Hey, we were just talking about dear woke Christian. Remember, you covered this. Who else covered this? Because you covered their coverage when they did the lease. Thank you if you have time. Shout out to dear woke Christian. Great job covering the interview. But it was like we don't talk about that. Like I said, I would blame Kamal. Secondly, I blame us too, because I just think that it shouldn't be a thing. Even when Andrew Holmes came here, nobody had proof he lived here. Everybody for years said he lived in Chicago. He served 2 terms. Nobody even fact checked his residency. The same with Tiffany. Okay, Tiffany grew here, but if she did sign a month-to-month lease, that is not something we should want our mayor to do, have a month-to-month lease. Okay? We should want them to have some roots here. So it's a lot of blame going around. But anyway, back to Miss Janetta. Then everybody's like, oh, she ain't put... Oh, come on, y'all. When's she going to find somebody $2,600 a month plus utilities? That lady got a business to run. So she's doing the best for her. And I just wish her well in, her future endeavors with rent and stuff like that. And I hope it doesn't backfire. All right, y'all.
By telling the people I did this, I'm doing that. Come on now, really? No, all false, all negative. And that's why you see me in the public. Think about it. People really guilty or really bad. What they do? Run. You don't see them no more. They out of the...
Y'all, I swear to goodness, people I know don't even wake up at 9 o'clock. But if they see I'm on live, they're going to call my phone 10,000 times. I'm like, stop doing it. I'm on live. Okay?
The headlines, right? They don't go to meetings. They not in the public. They not indoors.
And, folks were saying, well, good luck. I don't think she going to come. She going to stand you up. I said, she not running. And I received that about you. And it's a build up to, the charity, right? The this, the that. And it's been dissolved since then, correct? Your charity? Is it dissolved?
I personally don't even have a charity. Okay. Never did. But I get tired of everything because some people name something after me. Okay. But what does it have to do with me?
Your name
Think about it. It's so minute.
Tiffany.
It's bigger than that. My mom had breast cancer. Like, I don't play with stuff like that. When I was a trustee, people really go back and do the history and research, because people don't research no more. They just, you say something bad about me, they just play it. And then I got to dispel what you said. That don't make no sense to me. And that's why I call it fake news. So my mom had cancer, and then in 2013, I did a cancer walk every single year.
Okay, let me clarify this as a Dalton resident. Yes, she did. She was doing the cancer walk. She was she had the heavy hitters coming out here for all her walks, the stop the violence situation. She had Maria, my favorite, Maria Pappas, the fashion queen, our Cook County treasurer. She had Father Flager. She had Speaker of the House. She had so many people on her side as the mayor because Tiffany did put in the work. For people that just followed Tiffany, Tiffany put in the work to get to where she is, period. At the end of the day, I stand on that. However, there's a lot of things that she's doing now to fall. You know what I mean? Right now, we're talking about the cancer charity. It's okay to just say, you know what? This is what happened. This is what happened. I'm the face. They told me it was a good idea. The board voted on the 10K. We went ahead. We did this Springfield thing. I dropped the ball. It's okay to admit I dropped the ball just to be accountable. We could probably, if she did that, people wouldn't keep on bringing up that cancer charity. Then if she said, and then to amend what I did to drop the ball, that $10,000, I went ahead and took it out. This is what I would have did if I was supervisor. I took that $10,000 out my pay, and I put that $10,000 back to the people who are suffering cancer because I'm so serious about it. I took $10,000 out my own pay and helped the people with that. And here's the receipts. Not just, oh, my bad, we messed up. I'm the face, dissolved. It wasn't my charity. It was just my name and face. No, we all gonna make mistakes. But as a good leader, remember, was it Harold Washington, you guys? Remember Harold Washington? Um, didn't he donate a part when he got a raise, a part of his income back to Chicago? It's okay to do that. $10,000 would be nothing. People would say, man, this girl didn't know what was happening. We all know, because of course, now all of a sudden, what's your boy name? We don't see him no more. We forgot his name. Keith Freeman. He could do no wrong. He could do no wrong no more. I made a mistake. I did this. I did that. And then this is how I tried to make up for it, you guys. I let other people handle my business. I should have double checked myself. My bad. That's it.
They ain't talking about that though, right? I want people to talk about facts and not fiction.
And I want to talk about facts, right? Like, so ultimately, we know where you stand and rooted in the charity. And then when we talk about just, like the headlines, undeniably, this Vegas trip has overshadowed a lot of your administration and your ability to lead. And some of the accusations are horrible, right? And it is tied to your leadership. What do you have to say in regards to the desire for folks to know more about what had happened in Vegas, right? What do you say to that?
I say people should give people the opportunity to be heard and not just judge off of one-sided narratives. I think that in due time, everybody will speak to whatever their part is.
Now, Tiff, you say you want people to be heard. We heard Phineas interviews twice to NBC Chicago. We heard the first one and we heard the second one with Regina, which I'm also going to do a video on later. But right now, we on you right now. You are the woman that fired her instead of having it investigated. You are the one that tried to cover it up. You are the one that tried to dismiss it. So miss me with your bullshit.
Everybody got to understand, just because somebody not speaking don't mean they're guilty or something wrong. Like I just told you, when you get legal counsel, they tell you you cannot talk about certain things. Like, for instance, we're still in court.
Just because you don't have to speak in public don't mean they have to refuse to put out a statement. You can still put out a statement. You can put a statement out. Andrew Holmes can put a statement out. And neither one of y'all did that. So shut the fuck up.
People are suing for money. So that's your answer.
Okay. You all heard it here. And last but not least,
I agree both ways. I agree both ways. I think when it comes to if it's still a civil case going on, don't say nothing right now. Let the proof be out there for the authorities to make the.
And the thing is, I actually agree with Berg right here that this whole thing should be investigated. But the thing is, it's not going to be investigated in Dalton until they get rid of Tiffany. Tiffany is not going to let this thing be investigated. Las Vegas tried to investigate this. They couldn't find a damn thing. Another thing that Tiff could have did was take the alleged sexual assault case and have to stay in Nevada, and instead of Illinois investigate the case. But Tiffany ain't gonna do that.
Correct decision, because it could be damaging either way. That's my opinion on it. If it's such a sensitive case like that, yeah.
The constant narrative that's up against you. Why not stand down? Why run again for re-election?
Because the people put me in there and the people gonna keep me in. That's it, that's all. At the end of the day, throughout all the
And I call bullshit. She wants that power and she wants that money. End of discussion. Money and power, and that's what it's about, nothing else.
controversy and all the mess, I still produce for my community. I still continue to do the work. With all the hate and people calling me out my name and being disrespectful, coming to my mom's house, coming to my house, I still show up. Everybody tell me I would have ran. I would have quit. I would not still be in this, Tiffany. But yet here I am. Somebody got to do it. And unfortunately, God chose me to lead the people.
And
that's what I'm going to do.
Mess, man.
I follow his steps. Nobody else's. Because at the end of the day, it's just me and him. Nobody else.
And that's fair. I receive that.
Because I would have been gone, y'all.
This here is a delusional crash out.
Tiffany is a good one. This me leaving Dalton. No. Get somebody else to do it. But that's politics. And I feel like only the people that's in the background, they really know what's happening. And we're just out here fighting amongst each other because we think we know what's happening. You know what I mean? So I think it's a lot of reasons Tiffany don't say anything. If she say this about that person, somebody else gonna say something worse that we don't know about her. I think it could be a lot of things behind the scenes, a lot of blackmailing and da-da-da-da-da going on. We just don't see it. So it's like, okay, well, this part out here, but then it could be something even worse that she's not telling us. You know, I don't know.
This is not your first rodeo under that recall. My response to people when I do utter your name is it goes back to the recall, right? And I say to folks, and I said this to you, we talked about this, you know, if you all didn't like it, why didn't you do something about it, right? Not only did you send her back, she's there, right? So for those that are organizing against you, we're going to talk about that on the other side because there's an internal conflict, right? And the opposition that was born under your administration since your inception. Because House is no stranger to you and nor are you him. But ultimately, you are rooted in the work. And you said until the people say it's finished, it is so. Is that what you're saying?
Amen.
All right, well, we receive it. You are listening to the Superman. She's giving us an exclusive right here, a heart-to-heart conversation about some real pressing negative headlines. I've yet to see a positive one, but we're going to create that here at WVON just with her speaking her truth. I think that's important for us to discuss because
to lead in any area. And I have a problem with that. I don't like show.
Time for Freedom, documenting the
Female, I'm expected to aspire to Monet in Calumet City. It's attack on women. Nobody wants.
What's going on?
And we are back. Time is 10:08. You are listening to the Midday Show.
I was sitting up there talking about whatever going on in Calumet City. I don't want no parts. What is happening in Calumet City? I cannot wait for this election to come and go. I bet as soon as the new people come in, we gonna forget about all these stories the next month. It's gonna be like, huh? What happened? Oh yeah, girl, it's okay. We ain't worried about that. Cause these accusations are flying everywhere. And it's getting nasty.
Is none other than the Superman. She woke up flawless. Because if she ain't gonna say it, she feel that way.
Amen.
If you know her and you follow her, you know what time that energy is.
Yes.
And I wanted to play that clip because as women, there is not a moment in any of those statements that we can't identify to in terms of what little girls are expected of is almost equivalent to what men expect of women, especially women in leadership.
Yes.
Right? And you've talked time and time again about fighting the good old boy club. Talk to us, because she ain't know. You know, I do my homework. You don't learn today. Besides the headlines, you got to know what's fact.
Yes.
What is the good old boy club in your world?
In my world, it is made up of all men, unfortunately. We, as women, are not welcome in their circle. So they oust us, and then they start attacking us. The same attacks you see happening to me is happening to Anyota in Calumet City, Monet in Calumet City. It's attack on women. Nobody wants a woman to lead in any area, and I have a problem with that. I don't like chauvinist men that just tell us this is what we got to do when we can go toe to toe with whatever.
Now, I will say, I think they had a problem with Tiffany leading, her being a mayor. Again, I think they put Tiffany there thinking they could control her. I do. And I agree with Miss Asia comment. Why we don't see the bank statements or anything like that? One person been on the bank statement the whole time. And Lori can see what's going on, but she knows what. Lori is a brilliant person, right? And I mean that to say, not only is she well educated, but she knows all about politics and the media. So she knows she can give people just enough, make that big bag, help House win the campaign with just putting on a colorful spreadsheet on the Jumbotron, which, by the way, the trustees could use to show us the warrant list, but don't. We only work that when Lori has a PowerPoint.
They could, but they won't.
Put that up there and get the media out there for the ooh and ah, and Tiffany has spent all this money. And there you have it. More, you know what I mean? So yeah, I know we're saying Miss Cleo gives a lot of fluff, right? I guess hopefully that's not a nasty word, but I think it is. But I think a lot of the YouTubers as well, you got the media, so we just do one side of the story. We don't even want to hear what Tiffany says, even without the proof. Now, I feel like Tiffany the ball is in her court. If you got these receipts, who's saying a tea bag of receipts? Somebody said that, and every time I see it, it makes me laugh. But if you got the receipts, girl, right now, we got 30 days. Put it on that TV screen right behind Miss Cleopatra head.
Thank you.
Choose to accomplish at that time, but nobody wants to see us in it. So I have been going against that status quo for quite some time because you gotta understand, all my cities are ran by men, except one, that's Lansing and myself. But all 17 cities, majority men, and most men are really upset that I have two positions when most of them have two positions or three positions.
Correct.
And the news not talking about that. It's just that I, meaning the woman, cannot have two positions. And I think I've done a damn good job of keeping both positions on the right track. And that's what they don't talk about. All my accolades that I've done in both communities, all the surpluses that I have, they don't talk about any of those things. And that's the stuff that I really want people to hear.
So surplus is where it's at. So let's talk about that, because when you inherited Thornton Township, it was a deficit.
Yes, $4.6 million.
Oh, she said that with her chest, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And where are we now?
Put it on a Jumbotron. This is what I don't understand. Right now, hey you guys, right now I had my my media person or Kamal or whatever put up the receipts that we were in a $4.6 million deficit. Now we do know some about, off the top of my head, some about they got that $5 million loan and that made it a surplus. I'm trying to remember. You guys, we covered it on my channel before. This is when you need to explain it for real, clear, so it can't be refuted, right? You guys get what I'm saying? We can't just throw numbers out there and not put it on the, especially with the controversy that comes with Tiffany.
Surplus.
Under your leadership.
Under my leadership.
I haven't seen that headline.
Yeah, you're not. And that's what I'm saying, because they got to make me look bad. They don't say none of this. We gave them all the evidence. We gave them all the audits. They can go on Cook County website. The rest of them go look it up. These are facts. These are things that has been checked and it's true. Even without grants and things of that nature, I still have a surplus.
Village of Dalton, there's a deficit.
Correct.
You've talked about that openly in the meeting. Where did that deficit come from?
So, we owe the city of Chicago like $13 million or so. when I first got in office. So why do people think that just disappeared? Where did that go?
Yeah, we've been in
And
a
what was the
deficit
deficit
forever.
for? I'm assuming water.
Yeah, water. City of Chicago.
Yeah, because Harvey underwater too, right? I ain't gonna talk. Mayor Clark, don't you call me? But listen, the water services for our surrounding townships, it does come at a price. And what way did you contribute to the deficit is where people, I think, get things entangled because of the headlines, right?
Correct.
So, of that, in what ways were there mismanagement under your leadership when it came to eating at that bill, if any?
So there was no mismanagement. I know everybody want a person to blame. If you're gonna blame someone, then you blame the board, the trustees. Because what people don't understand is how leadership in government works. I am the executive branch. I'm the head. They are the legislative branch. The legislative branch is over the money. So if they over the money, why everybody keep saying Tiffany did it? Tiffany didn't do shit. And I'm sorry for cussing on your show because I'm just pissed off and everybody want me to be the
Put the poopies in the chat. Put the poopies with the eyes. Tiffany.
No home training.
Oh, gosh, what we gonna do with Tiff? Tiff, I know. Girl, Tiffany didn't do diddly squat. Tiffany didn't do... fill in the blank. That's a fib. I did not do that. Please. Welcome to Dalton.
Welcome to Dawn.
because he's a man. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of taking the blame for all their mismanagement, all their negativity, all their hate, all their theft. And that's
I'm gonna tell you one thing that got me the whole time when it was the fireman contracts, and I am for the firefighters and the first responders, but it was kind of weird. Like it was like Tiffany stopping this, and it was like all of a sudden, oh, we got it approved. My thing was how that happened, and she and y'all. The firefighters backed Tiffany because Riley wouldn't give them their contract.
ain't nobody gonna approve that. And
So, y'all, I think it's all a mess. I think everybody's to blame. I told y'all we're in a beef between friends. We're in a beef between friends. Some friends fell out with each other, and we're in the middle of the beef. All right, an hour and 40 minutes in. Here we go.
Can I be recognized, Mayor?
you gonna be long-winded? I'm just asking.
Thumbs up the video. We're long-winded. We're watching the WVON. I would say this wasn't a real interview. I say this was a chit-chat with Cleopatra Draper, who also was a politician in Chicago as well, running for office, alderman. So now she has a midday show host. So let's see how this goes. Oh, my sound is low. Hold on, guys. Can you hear me better now? Is that better? Okay. Right. I did not. I've been like, golly gee whiz, guys. Come on. Is this? I do the R. Kelly. Is this camera? I don't know how to hog tie people. I don't know how to hog tie people. Come on, guys. Is this camera on me? Shoot, not cussing.
Talk to coming up because everybody want to go get all these people. Like y'all need to come get Larry Lightfoot from over my seat. Y'all need to bring her back over here. Y'all go.
That's my favorite subject matter. Miss Asia, thanks for bringing it up. The back of the check has never been shown. We have no idea what happened to the check or if anybody got the money. That's my favorite. But I think this would be a good chance for Tiffany to say something. So we can't do nothing if she don't say anything. That's the thing. I'm like, girl, say something. Put the receipts on the Jumbotron. But when they know they only could give us a little bit for us to be like, ooh, we'll run with it. Ooh, the currency exchange man cashed a check for $560,000. How? Who could order that amount of money? I mean, if you worked at a bank before, you already know how it go.
After me. Like,
So
stop.
pause. You are unearthing some real. So, let's go back to the fundamentals of how government works, because this is what we talk about when we're referring to civics, of how you all function as a body. So as the executor or the president of the board, the body, as you're saying, the trustees are who legislate. They create the policies.
Correct.
And the resolutions that are fed up to you based upon an agreement. And it's a 4-person board, right?
No, it's 6. It's 6, but majority is 4, and that's how they're running down.
That's what I'm right. So I'm doing my count, because if you got a board and you can't count, you ain't won. So I done jumped the gun, right? So it's a 6-board body.
Yes.
Majority rules were 4. Right now, you're split, right? So in your current body, right? And we're going to talk about that, because you have something coming up in terms of making sure that they install somebody to help weigh the legislation so that you can get something done.
Right, but that's township.
That's township.
Dalton is what you're talking about now.
Right,
Yeah.
Dalton, right? So that's township business. But Dalton, when we think about Dalton, just from a legislative standpoint, the cabal, right? So there's been some filibustering. I'm gonna use this political language. There's been some filibustering to prevent work from being done. And as we're talking about the deficit, you inherited a deficit on that side as well, which was 13 million, the vast majority being watered to the city of Chicago. And then, I want to identify what roles did you play. And you're saying that it's a collective play, right? You can't get nothing done without your board.
You can't.
Think about any mayor, any president. So I just want to talk about facts, guys, because I see you all on the live line, 773-591-1690. But when we talk about moving the needle, you can't do that as just the mayor.
Correct. And I'm going to add to that. Right now, things that residents don't know, and they hearing it right here on your show, because I'm going to talk about this on my live. My board, right now, the corrupt board that's trying to run against me now, have stopped me. I don't have a village attorney.
Correct.
I don't have a police chief.
Correct.
I don't have a fire chief. And I don't have a village administrator. All these things, or an assistant. As a mayor, all that...
Wait a minute. Where did Chief McClain go? We don't have a fire chief?
What happened to a fire chief?
Did anybody hear that? Where did Chief McClain go? I'm sorry, I missed that part. Did anybody hear that? I knew we don't have a police chief. I think a lot of that's...
Cause I remember when Lacey was fire chief, she had a white police chief. Then that guy either got fired or quit, and she replaced the guy with a black one. So she went through 2 police chiefs within a year's time.
Unfair. I think that we should, but I also think we should appoint from within. I think whoever is next on the ladder, seniority wise, and have all the the stars that pass the tests and all of that stuff, ducks in a row, they should be next as acting fire police chief. But when did Chief McClain go? Wow, I didn't know that. I need to know this. Did I miss something?
I have those things, residents. If we don't talk about facts, let's talk about facts. So the people that's been running government for Dalton has been the Board of Trustees. We've always been in court because they sue for every little thing. We get tied up in court. You know how it go. Kick the can down the road. Okay, get them time to respond. And then now you month after month after month in court. But all these things I sued for. We did, it's called a civil conspiracy. With they little bum attorney, they always want some news play. That's who's they puppet master. So all these things are going on in my city. But I'm the only one fighting back. Just because there's majority against me don't mean I'm wrong. I'm the one right. Just like how y'all did Jesus Christ, right? He the only one been saving y'all life and y'all crucified at me. I'm going through the same.
Tiffany, be careful, child. Be careful. Be careful, Tiffany.
Same thing.
So let's talk about that, because no pun intended. You claiming that you've been a pinata, right?
Yes.
Ain't no candy coming out, y'all. So stop beating on her. Listen, at the end of the day, the cabal is in, and you haven't been effective, which is probably was the goal, right? I'm gonna assume the latter. The goal was to technically you look ineffective, but you look real strong to me, right? You look like you're still holding it down, despite the lack of people put in play. If you really cared about Dalton, you at least have people in play to make it effective. Whether they agree with your politics or what you have to say, there are some missing attributes to have the ship run afloat.
Correct.
Did I get that right?
You did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, ultimately, again, I ask you, why not quit? At this point, have they not done enough to break you?
No, they'll never break me. You can't break my soul. Never. We gonna fight to the very end, period. Because I didn't come to play. I come to slay. And when I slay, I'm gonna expose all of them for their dirty deeds. That's the difference. I'm outspoken. They want me to shut up. I will not. Because at the end of the day, somebody gotta tell it. Somebody gotta show it. But the people gotta want it. The people can't get caught up in this clickbait, drama, reality show, whatever they trying to create. Because
The young and the Daltonless. Okay. I want to go back because I thought that was going to be, I thought this was going to be a slide by. But Lady Luck Club, the trustees have been on the bank account, right? Not the trust. Now Jason House and Allison Key on the bank account. But Allison Key has been on the bank account the whole time. So they can get that record of that check. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying, but yeah. Let's not forget that. Yeah. Yeah, they all been on there. Yeah, the clerk. Oh, I'm sorry. You could answer that, Miss Asia. I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, that we've been there. Gardis. Gardis said, "Can we stop first? She Rosa Parks. Now she Jesus. What's next? She gonna be mom." What was the Dalai Lama? What was the Mother Teresa? This is just, and Kamal back there like, yeah, babe, get it.
with a hen in a cookie jar. And I'm exposing it. And everybody got a problem with it. Even the lawyer, all of them. They all involved. The civil conspiracy lawsuit I put out, it got all of them in there. The lawyer's number one because they funnel all the money to him. Think about it. I don't have no lawyers, but y'all still want to pay y'all lawyer. I'm the one that appoints. Anybody understand government? The mayor is the one that appoints the attorneys. But yet that attorney going to sign up on all our cases. I didn't give that to him. We was in court and we had to make him get off a case through the judge. The judge say, hold on, Oderson, you're not appointed by the mayor. And removed him off the case. But this is what I'm dealing with. But no one's telling that.
And we're going to talk about it because I found it interesting. So listen, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We talk about Bert Oderson, right? He was in the documentary that we were talking about between the show. Mm-hmm. It was a documentary created about this young woman that she's not even a part of. Where they do that at? Only on NBC.
Yep. No, I remember that too, Wyoming. I'm saying, okay, so let's say clerk was taken off. Then she was put back on. Then whatever, did they switch backs? So that they still got history of what's going on. If they had that check, they said we got a copy of a $560,000 check that's been cashed with one signature. Okay, my question to you guys: two signatures were required, right? Then we went to, well, Tiffany stole the stamp. So do we blame the bank or do we blame? Who do we blame that let this check clear with one signature on it when two were required and they didn't have it's like it. I'm not even gonna touch that check because come on, y'all, we really can't argue about it when we don't have the proof at all with that check.
He's not just a attorney. Mm-hmm. He's been around just as long as your predecessor. So when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation with the super mayor, Tiffany, represent them.
Right.
And if that is their protest, it still is ineffective and it impacts and hurts the people. So that is the equation, and that's undeniable. But what I want to get to for those that are really trying to connect with you is, where did you fall short? Tiffany from the block rose to become trustee, then mayor of Dalton, then the evolution of supervisor of Thornton Township, ergo super mayor. All of that happened in less than 10 years. But the evolution of you is where folks are questioning some of the decisions, right? Some of the allegations, whether it is your police department and the loss of the fleet, your desire and need for protection and security, some of which is valid because you've had credible threats, and some of the choices, right? Where did you fall short?
When I didn't do what people wanted me to do. When you get in power, people come up to you, whether it's them or they send people, and they want you to do certain things. And because I wouldn't, I became the target. You gotta understand, it's a lot of things at stake as it relates to Thornton Township. They wanted contracts, they wanted jobs, they wanted all these things, but I came and I cleaned it up. That was the problem before me.
Represent them.
Right.
And if that is their protest.
So my problem is because we do both sides over here, if you guys don't know. I started to have an issue. I get what she's saying, but I started to have the issue, and I haven't gotten proof on this, but watching the old board meetings when we stopped getting RFPs and other people were just going there doing the work. That was when the people weren't bidding anymore, from what I saw. Like, I only could say from what I see. That was an issue for me. I think that was the issue. Now, did they want their friends to have the jobs? Yeah, we could see that evident on who works at T with the trustees. You have to be buddy buddy. Some people didn't get those jobs. But I think that's on both sides. Because I want to say, I was looking at an old board meeting, and let's bring Krigley up, for instance, and I'm gonna say allegedly. Don't have an issue with DeMarcus Krigley, but this is what I saw. I know he worked for Public Works, but I believe he had his own business as well, and he was waiting to get paid for some windows his business did. If I have it wrong, my apologies. But he was waiting to get paid for some windows that his business did from the board. It's a conflict of interest. You know what I mean? You working for Public Works, then on the side, your business is contracted to do these jobs. And I've seen it on other parts too. Other situations, like that nightclub in Dalton and Tammy Brown and the boyfriend and all that stuff. It's just too messy. So that's why RFPs are so important.
Oh, man. No matter what it is, you're blaming on the mayor, and that is not how it goes. It's people trying to run our government that's outside interference, and I have a problem with it.
Let me pause there, because I am going to push back on that statement, because that is what we've seen. That is how it goes. It is the mayor's fault. I'm in the city of Chicago with my black mayor and our body of council, and nobody's identifying, oh, well, that alderman or this group did. It is Brandon Johnson 24/7, 24/8. If it was an eighth day, it would be another day that is Mayor Johnson, as though he doesn't have 50 people
Correct.
that control.
Correct.
So, yeah, Tiff, it is the mayor. But what would you say to folks that you are trying to not only court, but push to reelect you? What do you say?
Close your mouth, open your ears. Because if you over talking, you never hear the other narrative. You gotta.
Ain't
nobody gonna approve that.
I be trying. That's what you're gonna say to the people you're trying to court?
mayor, whether it's township talk. I do them forums to let people hear from me to their questions. And then I also ask questions, even when we're calling, right? And I'm courting you for a vote. I'm saying, hey, this is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard. I want to know, do I have your continued support in the upcoming election? And if you tell me, well, I'm undecided, then I say, well, why are you undecided? And then you tell me, well, I don't know right now. What you mean? You have me on the phone. Now you can ask me whatever you want because it's just you and I. It's not an audience. No one's telling you what to ask me. However you feel, you can ask me while you have me. And then some people don't say nothing. Some people say, well, I don't know right now. So either you know or you don't, or you got a question or you don't. But people are telling.
And I'm going to tell you that's not always true, because I raised my hand at the last meeting as the only blogger that got up there. I forgot what that was for. It was a meeting where I messed up the live stream. Sorry about that. And I raised my hand to ask a question, and the question came from my audience. And they wanted to know if Tiffany could tell them if it was early voting or a way to mail in a ballot, stuff like that, if they could tell. I raised my hand. William Moore shook his head and said, don't answer that. He didn't even know what I was going to say, and shut it down. The only one that answered the question was Miss Linda. So if you're going to shut certain people down, that goes for both sides. How are people how are we going to get the word out? It's like, we were there, and Critical came and joined me later. And they shut me down like 4 times just for streaming. So, I'm not Tiffany's favorite person in the world or anything like that. Because I have questions. And they were like, don't answer. It was a simple question. Hey, what are you going to do about the, what's going on with it? It was like everybody there was shaking when I raised my hand. And that has to stop if you want to be transparent. Both sides. You want to be transparent, listen to both people. I just got to give it to y'all true.
In your ear about negativity, and that's the way you're feeling about a person. And then I also rephrase and I say, how would you feel if I just came to your door and I said, well, they said that you would think, I don't know you from Adam, but this was I heard on the street, but I don't know. I never gave you a chance to explain. I never gave you a chance to talk to me or educate me on your side. I just ouched you. It's like, it's sad because I'm seeing the world treat me as though a person is guilty. And I thought it was innocent until proven guilty. And I'm not getting treated that way.
Well, you heard it here. And listen, guys, she is open to have the dialogue. So Carl, James, Nate, Justin, I see you got a question. You'll have your time when we come back after this break.
I'm Candace McCollum.
The other day when somebody said something to you, you told them they were stupid. And it's not to laugh, but that's how you felt in that moment, I presume.
And I meant that. I'm standing on that.
You're standing on that. I heard you say that too. Is what Pat referencing any validity to it?
No, it's all fake. And that's what I'm talking about. People got to go back and research the clip. We played a song, and of course it was Rihanna. And the news took it and ran with it. I didn't verbally say that. Why would I say that?
Oh, so Pat heard the song.
Correct.
And then
the news played and it said, the mayor saying what she just said. And I never said any of that. They played the song because basically they weren't paying the vendors. And the vendors were saying, where my money at? Okay. And we used the song to reference how they was feeling is what it was. And that's all it was.
And in that moment, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, there are some folks, like right now, I can say I'm your favorite millennial, right? And there's some folks, oh, no, don't put too much emphasis on that. You don't want them to challenge your intellect and remind you that you're young. But I am. And in that moment of leadership, would you had to play the different song had you knew it was going to catapult?
Yeah,
what is the answer?
Of course I would have. So, Of course, we have our moments where we could have did something better or changed it or changed the value or the tone. Yeah, of course. But guess what? It's called growing pains. You're going to go through it, but you're going to grow through it. People can sit there and hold you hostage of what they perceive as a mistake or something you shouldn't have done. Everybody goes through mistakes or things that should have done differently. It's called growth.
And that's what I want to magnify, because when I ask you moments where you fell short of the glory, this is one of them, because it's stuck with a resident, a long-term resident, right? That shows, see, that's why we don't put young people in office. And see how, whether it's immature or this your response to us, that's appropriate, and they run with it, right? And then when you come back stronger, They never let that go. Is that what you're asking for? If you can ask for forgiveness of moments where you fell short. For me, here's a growing pain for me and my observation of you that I laughed. I laughed for about 6 months until somebody finally told me, that's inappropriate. That wasn't cool. And I said, well, why not? And I'm showing a moment where I was immature too. And Nino Brown.
Yeah.
When you came out with the dog.
Yeah.
And you had New Jack City to the T, and you sent the message. And then when I think about it, I said, well, damn, not maybe. That wasn't the venue. This is my observation. That wasn't the venue. That was a sticking point. That did hit a little different. And now, even though it is funny, it wasn't funny. It wasn't appropriate. What do you say to my critique?
To your critique, I think it was hilarious.
I agree.
I think that people took it the wrong way. Number one, I'm a fan of Mark.
I'm about to lose about 800 subscribers today because I know this is the time where Tiffany is supposed to just say, after all this scrutiny, I get how people, that's not how I wanted it to go over. That's not what I meant. I apologize. I was doing Martin. Then after I reflected on the story of Nino Brown, the story of New Jack City, the story of my village, even though this was something I did, like I said, I think she came in there, what did she do? She came in there and did Life is a Box of Chocolates. She did that before the board meeting, something fun. It was pretty cool. You know what I mean? That's what she wanted to do, little skits. We need to worry about this budget, mama, right now, right? So I get it. And then it's not like a lot of young people coming to the board meetings anyway. I know she wanted to do something fresh and innovative. It just didn't pan out the way I thought it was. My bad, y'all. I was doing Martin. It's things that we say. I remember we were...
This is what frustrates me with Burke a little bit, with Burgundy Bull a little bit. She wants to try to defend Tiffany. No. Call it out for what it is and quit defending Tiffany.
Talking about Maxwell Street. And someone came on my show and they called Maxwell Street the old name. Now, those that are not from Chicago, y'all know what they used to call Maxwell Street, and it started with a J. So it was J space town, right? They didn't know that was offensive because they grew up in the 60s and 70s, early 80s, and that's what they called it. And we had a whole breakdown on how that was offensive. Like, people didn't know. Someone said, we've been doing that on my channel. Like, my channel is not just about Tiffany Henyard. We talk amongst each other, try to understand each other. It's not a hate channel. We were talking about how we didn't know that this woman got in the car and said, I'm freezing like I have to say it because y'all wouldn't know what I was saying, a Eskimo, and no one knew Eskimo. And I was like, yeah, that's an offensive word. I didn't learn that until I was in my 40s. That's a slur. I didn't know that. We grew up on cartoons where you saw stuff like that. So Tiffany, going back to, she wants to parody Martin. Well, who was Martin doing a parody of? New Jack City. So when you see why that was so offensive, just break it on down and say, you know what? I thought it was funny. I thought it was going to be going on. Now I see how I offended so many, and I'm sorry. We don't have to stand 10 toes down just to prove we're right and you're wrong. If a lot of people have not felt it, it's about the community. If a lot of people felt that it was offensive, thanks for confirming to the Department of Justice. This is the problem. Okay? Shout out to Mama Hill. But you have to go with the majority. I get what she was saying. I get she just played the song. I get that she just dressed up the part. I get she was trying to be funny. It did not go over well. It did not age well. Much like Snoop Dogg in that clip. We got to go over that. Snoop Dogg in that clip. When he's sitting up there talking about which one of you blanky the blanks gonna perform for Donald Trump. And now here he go. Y'all hit the like button. We're gonna try to finish this interview. We're gonna skip through. Hey Karen. Hello everybody. Hello everybody I miss. Yeah, just the humility, Keith, is conscious. You know, it's just so much. Like we're missing the point. I get it. We don't have to stand on everything if we offend someone, especially if we're a public servant. I get what Tiffany trying to say. I get it was spent. It's just something that's always going to be in the history book. So let's just go ahead and let it go.
But I mimicked Martin because I even did a spoof on my TikTok, I think, or one of them things, and I posted it up and I replayed Martin the whole scene. And I do things like that to engage the youth, which it worked. Now I did it before my board meeting. I didn't do it. I wasn't in session. We didn't call the roll. We didn't do none of that. I came in the building and I just did like a little skit.
So it wasn't formal. So again,
go watch it.
Moments of I have, but you're contextualizing it, which is why I think you do need opportunities to give in detail. Why you do? Why in the mind of Tiffany Henyard? And I think I remember that episode. You talking about when it was on Neighborhood Watch, right?
Yeah.
Right. And he had the dog. But the point is, you know, you're personable, right? You're innovative and you're creative. And is your timing off? Maybe.
I don't think it was. I just think the media took it and ran with it. If the media didn't take it, it wouldn't be as big as it is today. The media made it what it is. And I do say that's what they got. They got the national attention. And people tend to believe fake news, unfortunately. And they know they are buying clicks and views too.
And that's the problem. So Serve Save, that was the whole issue. The song was played, like we doubled down. So not only are we Nino Brown, now it's Be Better Have Your Money, and then it's like pay me what you owe me. I get what she's saying, the vendors, blah blah blah. I get it, but that's the clip that people are able to use. You see what I'm saying?
Still new, so they cut it and chop it up like they did with the Rihanna song to make it look worse than what it is, and it wasn't that. I even did Forrest Gump. Why they ain't get no traction? I do all kinds of things, but I do it to engage community and also mainly the youth, and it actually works.
All right, so let's talk to James.
Okay.
James, welcome to WVON. James, we're gonna put James back on hold. Let's talk to Nate. Nate, welcome to WVON.
Hey, how you doing? Happy Martin Luther King Day.
I know, right? Happy Martin Luther King Day.
Hey, so Tiffany stated that Frank didn't leave her a blue book, and she didn't know what to do. She didn't know, who to call on, but she ended up.
Did I miss that? Did Tiffany? I'm being honest because we do both sides here. Did I miss Tiffany saying that? Can y'all let me know? Because we are going back through the interview. But did I miss that?
Exactly how the township operated in the appointed seat that she was appointed in. I just want to ask why she got rid of the blue book, the employees that knew how the township functioned in every department. Not every department, but administration, myself, after working there 14 years.
So you were an employee.
Absolutely.
And what was your role?
I was the media specialist. I managed our social media platforms. I did the video photography work. I managed our website.
Okay.
Yep. Pretty much all of that good stuff.
So we get into them personal tea leaves. Thank you so much, Nate. She's going to answer your question.
First of all, people terminate themselves. I didn't terminate anyone. If you're not doing your job, you don't have a job. It's just that way. People can get mad at the leader all they want. So that's what my answer is today.
All right. Well, listen, guys. Justin, Dylan, Eddie, Lynette, LaDonna, Art, Lena. All I ask is when you all call, refrain from anything other than the King's English. And then let's be respectful and let's be swift. Whatever your question is, Super Mayor is willing to answer it on the other side. We'll be back after this break.
You're listening to Cleopatra Draper. We're the talk of...
Okay, I have to play devil's advocate with that. Y'all, I always try to think about what I'm trying to say. Okay, I've worked in the municipalities before, and several before. I've never seen where, like Brandon Johnson, he leaves. He doesn't still have Lori Lightfoot chief of staff. I never seen stuff like that happen. Like, okay, everybody here still keep their job. I'm new. I haven't seen that. They usually bring their own people in. I don't think it's fair. That's why I don't like working for municipalities, because it stresses me out. Because you got to get along with the new administration. People think you trying to sabotage them, and you could be completely innocent in it. Tiffany could have answered it better. And then finally, maybe she wanted to bring her own media person in. I felt like Tiffany could have found another area for people to go in if the budget allowed it. I know it was excessive of the amount of people allegedly that was fired. That's what I want to say. And I agree with Shanna. I agree with Shannon. With if she apologized, it would be enough. I want to go to Garda's comment too. Hey, Francois. No, you got Keith Baby Jesus Freeman to terminate the former HR director because she wouldn't do the illegal stuff you asked her to do. Y'all, it won't stop. It won't stop. It won't stop. I swear, people don't be up this early in real life. They never do. They just see, oh, Berg's live. Let me call. See if she gonna pause her show and answer the phone. And then, okay, you can text me. Text me. You see I'm live. Okay. So, this is the thing. Keith did a lot of the firing, but nobody brings Keith up no more. True. Let's keep on going.
Are you looking to stay healthy in 2025? Come to Barney's New Life Health Food, Chicago's alkaline.
In between the show, I'm just going to forecast it because I know some of you all are going to call in about it's not a trip to Vegas. It was an economic development conference, right?
Correct.
That your entire board went to.
Yeah.
Right? But the foci is always you, right? And I say that because the foci, you're the head honcho, right? So that's undeniable. But the actions of what people did and didn't do and so on and so forth, you held accountable for that too. And that's where you draw the line, right? So to hear her impede upon her story of protecting her character and just the financial strife it's caused her as just a woman, I can only imagine the endless strife that continues to.
Now, this is going to be a shocker to you, Keithis. Go to the minutes of Thornton Township. You can see the board approving a lot of the firings. We went over that through the channel. So they had to approve, for instance, they had to approve Stephanie firing. It's in the minutes. And the only one that said they didn't want Stephanie fired was Chris Gonzalez. It's in the minutes. So that's why I like to do the research, because we'll assume Tiffany just went ahead and walked through. Now, did she have some influence? I'm sure. Yeah. But they had a choice to fire Stephanie or not. And Chris Gonzalez, he was like, I vote no. And everybody else voted yes.
To receive that because she's connecting with you on another level that ain't got nothing to do with the devil in the details of what you think people hear. People just seeing your story. So let's talk to Justin. Justin, what say you? Welcome to WVON.
Yes, good morning and happy MLK Day.
Same to you.
The man goes on to say about wanting to be a role model to our young people, but I'm wanting to know about her sleeping with a married man. Is that a role model?
So is that your fact or is that an allegation that you're spewing? Which is it, Justin?
It's a fact.
Thank you so much for that call. You don't have to respond to that if you don't want to.
She should have not responded. I watched this last night. Shout out to Shoes Compassion. I watched that to see Compassion now. I watched that on her channel. Tiffany should not have responded. This is when everybody gonna get mad at me, but I have to say it. Look, Shauna, you said I need some wine this morning. Yeah, me too.
They should have known they was going to drag
Want to?
Tiffany. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Oh, he want me to. Okay, this is where people get it twisted at, right?
And this is the problem. Thanks for confirming to the Department of Justice. Tiffany, this is the problem. She looks over to her. This is what I did not like. I got to keep it 100% with you guys. That's why we do both sides. Is everyone buckled in? Is everyone buckled in? I think this should have been ignored and moved. Next question. We do not. This has nothing to do with votes. This has nothing to do with the state of Dalton. Just leave it be. Now watch what she does.
What's going on? Just like anybody else, if they go through a divorce, that mean they can't date nobody. So people need to stop.
You have to get lawyers and of course you.
And just the financial strife it's caused her as just a woman. I can only imagine the endless strife that continues to bombard you, right? So I think that I want you to receive that because she's connecting with you on another level that ain't got nothing to do with the devil in the details of what you think people hear. People just seeing your story. So let's talk to Justin. Justin, what say you? Welcome to WVON.
Yes, good morning and happy MLK Day.
Same to you.
The man goes on to say about wanting to be a role model to our young people, but I'm wanting to know about her sleeping with a married man. Is that a role model?
Now watch her face right now. Watch her face right now.
She pissed.
Or is that an allegation that you're spewing? Which is it, Justin?
Pissed.
It's a fact.
Thank you so much for that call. You don't have to respond to that if you don't want to. So let's talk. Do you want to?
Oh, he want me to. Okay, this is where people get it twisted at, right? Everybody's so engulfed in my life that they don't even.
She looks over and she's looking at Kamal because remember Kamal went over there and she's like, do you want me to respond to that or do you want me to? No. And if he was good to her in this spec, no, you don't even have to answer that, babe. You don't even have to answer that. He let her drown. I'm really sad about this part right here. Cause we don't have to, I know Kamal's her man and stuff like that, but we don't have to stroke his ego. This is Tiffany's legacy. Okay, I know a lot of y'all gonna disagree with me on this, but I have to talk about it because we've been talking about cases and relationships and bad relationships, good relationships, stuff like that. This is Tiffany earned all this before she met Kamal, so she was grinding way before I don't know if they met, but before she was in a relationship with Kamal. That has nothing to do with my platform, what I plan to do if I'm reelected. That has nothing to do with it, okay? I done told y'all this is my man, point blank, period. But the fact it grinds my grits that he allowed her to continue this discussion, I am so upset by that.
even know what's going on. Just like anybody else, if they go through a divorce, that mean they can't date nobody. So people need to stop with the mess. If somebody still attached somebody and somebody won't let them go.
Y'all, where my girl at? Shauna, where we going? Pablo's? What time they open? Mr. Ricky's? What time? What time they open, Shauna? I'm on my way. Because now you going into Kamal's personal business. Just because someone going through a divorce, it don't matter. You're the mayor. You're the mayor. So yes, Burgundy dating a man that's going through a divorce would be totally different. Because Burgundy's sitting over here working at White Castle, minding her business, going to Pablo's. Okay? I'm minding my business with my boo, right? That's totally different than our supervisor, our mentor, the first black super mayor we've had to be dating somebody going through a divorce. You do not have to stroke Kamal ego. Kamal gonna have to learn that he has to play his part. We were talking about Harold Washington and how he wasn't married and he had a girlfriend. Who else had a girlfriend wasn't married? Riley Rogers. Do anybody know who Riley Rogers had? No wife. Do anybody know who his girlfriend was? No. Or girlfriends? No. Jason House. Who's Jason House, boo? Do anybody know? Kamal should be okay to be in the background. Yes, I know it sucks, but you are set to a higher standard. I'm really upset by him allowing her to answer that question. That is very damaging. And then you go in and someone don't want to let them go. Girl, don't believe that. Don't believe that. Even though, you guys, we did cover Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. They just finished their 8-year divorce settlement. It was juicy. And have you seen Angelina Jolie on the red carpet with anybody? 8 years they've been going through a divorce. Have you seen Brad Pitt with his new boo on the red carpet? No, they were still going through a divorce. Hell, we don't even know what Katie Holmes is anymore. Okay? Who is Tom Cruise? I don't even know who. When you're going through a divorce, you just, hey, you got to understand, baby, I'm going through a divorce right now. And you got to understand, I'm the freaking mayor and I have an image to uphold, so I can't have you on my arm right now. See you at Pablo's. And even then, we got to go to the back. I got to wear shades. I got to put my black wig on. I can't be seen right now until you're legally separated or the divorce is final. That's it. That's all. That's what burns me up. This is my legacy. Enough heat is on me. And I don't need people talking about you ain't seeing your kids or you married to follow me. No. No. Y'all, this really grinds my grits. It really grinds my grits. This is not the Kamal interview. This is not the Kamal interview.
Is that your fact or is that an allegation that you're spewing? Which is it, Justin?
It's a fact.
Thank you so much for that call. You don't have to respond to that if you don't want to. So let's talk. Do you want to?
Oh, you want me to? Okay, this is where people get it twisted at, right? Everybody's so engulfed in my life that they don't even know what's going on. Just like anybody else, if they go through a divorce, that mean they can't date nobody. So people need to stop with the mess. If somebody still attached somebody and somebody won't let them go, how you...
It's your STF.
So wrong. If someone's still attached to someone and someone won't let them go, and I'm only saying this wrong, right? Because I don't know Kamal's wife, ex-wife. I don't know Tiffany and Kamal relationship. It would be, this is what I want her to learn if she ever hears my voice. If Kamal, knock on wood, if let's say Tiffany, knock on wood, not trying to wish anything on anybody, let's say Tiffany lose both seats. and Kamal just moved back in with his wife, what's she gonna say? Love is love. Passion is passion. Believe me. Okay. I ain't. You, believe me, okay? Shauna, when we go to Mr. Ricky's, I'll tell you some stories, okay? Love is love. Passion is passion. You have climbed up to these ranks to the point that you even gave dude a job. If he didn't need it, he wouldn't have took it. I know Kamal said, if I had businesses. We know Kamal has. We know Kamal been fly. We know this, right? We know Kamal have been a business owner. We got that. But if he didn't need it, he could have said, you know what? I don't want to be in charge of this and that. I want you to stand on your own, babe. I'm going to run my businesses over here. And then we're just going to meet in the middle. That's it. That's it. But now, for you to say, yeah, go ahead and answer it and put the dig. Like, that's a dig to say, and somebody won't let you go. Maybe she don't want to let her husband go. Maybe it's something you don't know. We've seen that before. And we don't know. Heck, maybe old girl getting a slice of the $100,000 a year. Like, babe, go on over there and do whatever. Have that paycheck, bring it on home, child. We don't know. And I just wish Tiffany would not bet on him so much. I don't know Kamal Hart. Kamal could be the best thing smoking and be all in for Tiffany. I don't know. I'm just saying, this is your legacy. I need you to protect your legacy, and the man standing next to you should protect it as well. If he knows his image is tarnishing, that's like my friends. Y'all, I hate to make it about me, but I'm going to give you a good example. Y'all that's in the chat, some of y'all get beat up. Some people been doxxed, not beat up physically. Some people been doxxed just by being in Burgundy Blue chat. And what do I tell my friends that even associate with me? I say, y'all, don't shout me out. Don't mention my name. Don't say BB. Don't say BB gun. Don't say what my girl say. Don't say Better Business Bureau. Don't say Burgundy. Don't say Burger King. Don't say anything with a B, because I want you to be protected. Because right now people just, for some reason, because I won't go to one side, they hate my guts. So that's what it is. I want to protect y'all. Now it's up to some of my friends stay. Some people be like, okay, cool, Berg. If me having a wrench is causing a problem on your channel, take my wrench away. This is your channel. You're my friend in real life. If you're my friend in real life, I don't care what people got to say. My job is to protect you as a friend. Y'all can see, I don't get passionate about many things when it comes to Tiffany, because I always feel like it's both sides. But this shows an issue right here for me. And God bless her. That's it. God bless her. Thanks, Conscious. Yeah, Keith's. Wyoming, Wyoming always knows what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Wyoming. Now, she got all day to explain this. But she don't got all day to explain the stuff we want to know about, like the check, the surplus. It's just not right. That's their personal business. And yes, I understand Tiffany is beat up all the time. I don't know how she does it. She has to be a strong person. But part of the reason I think she can do it is because she is loved. She is protected. You ever had a bunch of money or something like that, and everybody, or a position, and everybody was your friend, and then when you lost that, nobody was your friend no more, or things became more stressful because you couldn't do what you want no more. You didn't come with all that perks anymore. I just don't want that to happen to her, and that would break her heart. And not only break her heart, that would.
And whether if Brittany Boo's gonna admit or not, Tiff is gonna lose everything. It's just a matter of when. Let's keep going a little bit more.
Break her baby's heart, because we see Kamala's around all the time. My granny used to say, how you get them is how you lose them.
Damn right.
So I just don't want that for her. I hope I'm making sense.
So people need to stop using words of because somebody's married or whatever. I've been with Kamal for 4 years. 4 years we've been together. He been going through a divorce for 4 years. And anybody that's fighting a divorce or going through things that you're fighting with your ex, y'all know what I'm talking about. So people need to stop worrying about my personal life and judge me on government. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here for you to talk about.
And you know what? She could have just said that. It could have been plain and simple. To the caller, stop worrying about my personal life and judge me by government. She does not need to stroke Kamal ego. I know it is frustrating, but it's almost like you're more worried about your relationship than your seat. You know? And it could very well be people like, I'd vote for Tiffany all day. But man, she gonna bring Kamal with her? Damn. You know, it could be people that say that. I don't have a problem with what she got going on in her personal life. I don't care. However, I don't think it should have been so public for a mayor.
Personal life, because when we go home, when we talk to each other, guess what? It's me and him. It's nobody else's business. But yet everybody want to be in our business. I have a problem with that.
Do you think it's because you're a woman?
I do. Because if a man did it, y'all won't have a problem with it.
Please.
Y'all heard it here. Let's talk to Lena. Lena, welcome to WVON.
Hey, welcome. How y'all doing today?
We're good. Thank you so much.
Good. Yeah, I would like to say I am a Dalton resident. I'm a long-time Dalton resident. Miss Mayor, I am not a sting.
Dang it! I gotta leave for my. I gotta get my glasses, my eye appointment. I gotta leave. Let's handle part 2 tomorrow. We still had an hour and a half to go. I have to get ready for that. Oh, Lady Luck. I didn't even.
Well, if Burgundy Boo's gonna cut off here, I'll cut off here. See y'all later.